I made it through week 3 of restarting my art journey. In my past attempts, this is usually when the initial excitement fizzles out. So the fact that I'm still here, creating almost every day, feels genuinely encouraging. I'm proud of the effort I put in so far. After finishing editing my week 2 video, I took a day off to recover my energy. I recently read Meditations for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman, and one idea really stayed with me. The habits don't stick because we do them perfectly every day, but because we come back to them almost every day. Skipping a day or two is part of being human. What matters is choosing to return again and again. Forming a habit this way feels less stressful and far more sustainable. During that day off, I thought about what I wanted to paint next. I kept coming back to the idea of a horse. They feel so calm and grounded, but I've never painted one before. I always felt like they required a level of precision I just didn't have yet. Later that day, I took a slightly different route on my walk. I passed a yard I've walked by countless times, and there was a white horse grazing quietly. I had never seen it there before. It felt like serendipity, and it made me decide to embrace the challenge. The next day, I got to work. I have a little one, and most of my creative time happens during her afternoon nap. On good days, I get about 2 hours. When she wakes up, it's a hard stop. That first day, I only managed a quick pencil sketch before nap time ended. It didn't feel like much, and I debated whether I should even post a short showing the progress. I decided to do it anyway. The whole point of this channel is to show real progress that happens in real life. I made a quick short and posted, and surprisingly, it became my most watched short so far. It reminded me that I know very little about the YouTube algorithm, and even less about how people will respond to what I post. Sometimes, simply showing up without expectations is enough. On the second day, I finished the pencil drawing and moved on to coloring with gouache. I quickly realized that I was out of my depth. The sketchbook page is small, and I don't really know how to depict fur and shine yet. I kept my materials simple, using a small angled brush and the same palette from last week, just adding black into the mix. While coloring the horse's eyes, I experimented with a new filming setup, a mounted phone tripod I've seen other creators use. It turned out to be a lot harder than it looks. Almost all the footage came out slightly skewed. There's still so much to learn about the filming side, but hopefully it will start to feel more natural as time goes on. Back to the painting. I focused on making marks that suggested the direction of fur, using both strokes instead of painting individual hairs. I wanted to achieve a painterly look, not overly realistic. I'm happy with how it turned out, but this one definitely felt like a stretch beyond my current skill level. This painting session took about 2 hours and left me with a mild headache. Once the horse was done, I thought about what to paint on the opposite page to make the spread feel balanced. The horse is dark, warm, and stately, so for the opposite page, I wanted something cooler and lighter but with a similar visual weight. I considered a blue heron or a barn owl, but eventually settled on a snow leopard. It felt like the right match, mysterious, quiet, and cool-toned to balance out the warmth of the horse. After painting the horse, I thought, how hard could a snow leopard be? Well, it was harder than I thought. Because the fur was so light, it took a lot more layering. I had to keep experimenting to find the right tones with my 5 colors. But I felt encouraged to try because of how well the palette worked for me last week. The snow on the head was especially challenging. I found out that even pure white gouache straight from the tube couldn't appear brighter than the paper itself. So as the paint dried, it just looked like a dull gray. I tried adding a white gel pen on top for the highlights, which turned out to be a mistake. Instead of fluffy snow, it just looked messy and unnatural. I attempted to save it with more gouache, but it didn't really help. I decided to leave it as it was, as a record of what I tried and where I'm at. This looks good enough. After finishing the snow leopard, the spread felt slightly unbalanced. The snow leopard side looked smaller, and the lighter colors made it look visually lighter as well. I considered adding a background, but eventually decided against it. I felt like I had already overextended myself this week, and I wanted to respect the internal signal to stop. So I left it as is. This week felt like an exercise in extending myself beyond my current abilities, and more importantly, learning when to let good enough be enough. That's where I'm at right now. Thanks for witnessing this week with me. I hope to see you in the next one.